Welcome back, Calum.
Welcome back.
Are you still shirtless?
That's for you to decide. No, I'm not. You can see the shirt.
There you go.
But I don't have any sleeves.
Scandalous.
I know.
Anyway,
By the end of this episode, I will be naked. Welcome back to part 2 of the Marvel movies tier list. So stay tuned for the end.
you said that so fast and so confidently. Like, in between the two videos, there's a little bit of me and Calum just muttering about internet posts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he most energy he put in for a while. And I'll be naked. Alright. Do you want to go over the list
All
real
right.
quick?
Yeah, so here we are. What we have currently, we have listed 12 of the 23 movies, I believe.
Yes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sure. So we have, starting from the best to the worst, we have Castpod's number 1, a guy,
Yeah,
and we decide that at the end.
last
We
one
have
to be
Stanley,
picked. Yep.
which
These are going to be
is
the
the best so
candidates
far.
for Castpod's number one, a guy.
A guy. So we have Iron Man 1, the first Avengers, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Next, we have Shawarma, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
For that one, we have Thor, Captain America, the first Captain America, and Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
And moving on, we have
Hawkeye.
which is...
I can't tell if you're just pausing for me to speak or if you're... I can't tell.
A little bit, but then I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm just going to talk.
You continue.
Next, we have Hawkeye, and we have Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which is like average. We have Phantom Force Stick, which is no good, and that's Iron Man 3 and Avengers Age of Ultron. And finally, we have DC Comics, that's the worst of the worst. Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor the Dark World. So now, today, we have 11 movies to go through.
Yep. Phase 3, and then we... Actually, technically, 12 more movies, because we have to pick who our official Castpod a guy is going to be.
Right. So, let's get started.
All right.
With the first movie of Phase 3.
First movie, Phase 3, came out May 6, 2016. Calum, you going to take a guess?
Yes, I will. I think it is Captain America Civil War.
You got it. First try.
Set the tone. All right. So,
despite being a Captain America movie, this is a very, very big crossover.
Yes, it is basically an Avengers movie. I don't know why it's not an Avengers movie.
I don't know either. I feel like they could have definitely made it a big... Like, if they didn't go the Thanos route, they could have definitely gone the Civil War route.
Yeah. I will hold my opinion for now on this and let you speak on it first. What do you think of this movie?
I'm a very big fan of it. I like the action. I like the amount of people. It's the debut of Spider-Man in the universe. So,
and Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther too. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's at least shawarma, if not Stanley.
I'm eating a Kit Kat.
Okay. So, a little bit more about this movie. There is two sides, pro-Captain America and anti-Captain America. And then they fight, and Calum still eats the Kit Kat before he gives his opinion.
Okay, I'm done now. So, I did not really like this movie.
Okay. Why?
I liked it as its own movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it as a Civil War movie. Because my opinion is Civil War
had a lot more going on.
A whole lot more going on. I thought the reason... I mean, the reasoning's kind of the same.
Yeah, but it's
obviously
also not.
Yeah. And it just kind of felt dumb. It felt kind of forced.
Mm-hmm.
Like the OG Civil War where the
Confederates
new
versus the Union, yes.
I couldn't. I had nothing for that. Um, the OG Marvel Civil War.
Yeah,
Um,
that
like
was insane.
it was crazy. Like everybody was involved. You had this new team of superheroes that like blew up a hospital of children or whatever.
Yeah, it
Um,
was. So if I recall correctly,
mm,
it was like if the Teen Titans were in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Marvel Universe and D bags,
hmm
and they tried to save these children from, I think it was a mutant, I believe,
yeah,
whose
I
ability
think so.
was basically, I'm gonna explode,
And they
and
did.
he did,
Yep.
and he
A lot of
blew up a
people died.
orphanage or a school or something like that.
Yeah, it was some kid related thing. But yeah. And then that's when they had the whole like we need to
Hero
register
Registration Act.
superheroes.
So it's like,
And Iron Man was like, yeah, makes sense. And then Captain America was like vigilante justice. And then
no, that
they
puts
fought.
them more at risk. So
Because then Spider Man revealed who he was, and then
yeah,
didn't end too well for him.
no,
Um, but
I've
anyways,
considered spending like, I think it's like $100 or something like that, but you can buy like a massive book that has the entire story and then like the other plot lines going on, because something that's not really known about the Civil War is there's also a big X-Men plot line. There's a big
yeah,
like other plot lines going on. It's not just the
there's like
Avengers.
Deadpool's doing stuff,
Deadpool's
and there's like
Deadpool's always doing his thing though.
the Hulk's got his own little side thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie to me it felt kind of forced being the Civil War because it was like yes, same similar setup
Mhm.
with the whole registration thing and the blowing up of a hospital,
Yeah, but also
but they could have just talked about it. I sided with Iron Man on this one
okay.
because I was like I felt like Captain America was just kind of being a baby
That's
for
fair.
like no reason
You know,
because like his whole thing was like protecting Bucky,
yeah,
right?
that's true. It wasn't about protecting like all superheroes or something like that. It was strictly Bucky.
For Bucky,
Just like how
and then like
like how Superman and Batman and their fight over Martha.
over Martha, yeah. No, it felt like that to me because it was
Okay,
like
yeah.
you guys could just like just bring Bucky in and talk
Mhm.
to him, but
I
then you
understand.
ended up beating the crap out of your friend and paralyzing War Machine
Mhm.
because you just didn't want to bring the criminal into the cops
Yeah.
who
I think
then and then you fought along the guy like you fought
yeah,
the guy whose parents were killed by the guy that you were
fighting.
helping,
Yeah.
and you were just like, yeah, but he was my friend longer, so I mean,
That's
sorry about your parents,
sorry but
but
not
I like
sorry.
Bucky better. So I felt like Captain America was just being a punk for no reason in that.
Yeah. Okay, I can
And same
understand that.
thing when the other characters were arrested on Captain America's side, and they're all like, "Ew, Iron Man, I hate you." It's like this dude killed my parents. Like I just wanted to arrest him. You guys were the ones that were like, "I'm
He,
gonna help the criminal." So
yeah.
I don't know. I like overall, I thought it was a good movie. I didn't like how Captain America
Yeah,
acted,
that's
and I don't
you
like
don't
it
like
being
how it
called
went
Civil War.
Civil War. Yeah. Okay. I can understand that. That reminds
Yeah.
me of I think actually a very good interpretation is the Marvel Ultimate Alliance video games,
Mm-hmm.
which I actually have for PlayStation 4. So
We've played it.
we have played it very under the influence. Um, we should definitely try and do some gameplay of that.
I agree. That would be
We'll,
fun.
we'll get you out here at some point in time. We'll fly you out. I've got
Yeah, fly me out.
fly you out. Be
So I would put
okay. I would
uh
say, where would you rank it if I had no opinion?
if you had no opinion, I would put it in Hawkeye.
Okay, I would say shawarma. So I feel like though Hawkeye, like you definitely brought a better reasons why it shouldn't be as considered as good with Captain America being whiny and
Mm-hmm.
they stray from the Civil War quite more than you would think. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you could put it in Hawkeye.
Yay.
I think you had a better debating skill on that one.
Thank you. I don't know. That's just kind of how I felt. I was really excited for the Civil War plotline, and then
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't as
It
good. But like,
That's
I
fair,
still put it. I'm not gonna make it a bad movie because it wasn't a bad movie.
but it's
But yeah,
also it's a misleading title. If they named it like
it
Captain
is.
America 3, the Americaning, I
I would have
feel
been like, dope. Sounds cool.
yeah. So the next
Next,
November 4th, 2016.
November 4th, 2016. It has to be Black Panther, right?
It is not
Or
Black
no?
Panther.
No, 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 no. It's is it the first Spider-Man?
It is not the first Spider-Man.
Dang it. Now, what do we have here? So we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Ant-Man and Wasp,
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Avengers, one of them. Infinity War is it's Endgame, Thor Ragnarok, and then the two Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. So if it's not Spider-Man, excuse you, and it's not Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
what? What is it?
Doctor Strange.
Um,
It's
is it
Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Strange?
Yep.
I I never would have guessed that. I cannot pinpoint where Doctor Strange is on the timeline because it's
Yeah.
just so
It's pretty obscure.
unrelated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was basically famed surgeon Doctor Who got into a car crash and
And then broke his
broke
hand.
his hands.
Cue the picture of SpongeBob with all his fingers broken
Yeah.
after cracking his knuckles. That's
So
Doctor Strange.
that happened and then yeah, he went to this magical healing land in Southeast Asia where he learned how to fight with an iron fist and magic.
Not quite.
And yeah, so
And then he had bulletproof skin.
yep, and he could walk
Um,
through walls and spear and fly.
I have to reference Danny Phantom in all the videos.
Oh yeah, the box
I thought
ghost.
I liked this in that it introduced magic
Mm-hmm.
outside of Thor.
Yeah,
So
it introduced a
it
different
made it
kind of
like,
magic.
yeah, it was like, by the way, magic is legit now. You just haven't seen it before because we were hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was cool because that opens it up to
Yeah,
like anything.
another
Anything's
realm.
possible now.
Yeah, and I feel like this is
Um,
also a point where they're really like they've had a lot of bad movies, they've had a lot of good movies, and they're really like with Phase 3, they're starting to really hit their stride with certain parts of this, like
yeah, I agree.
and
Um,
the whole universe connecting,
yeah,
like
I definitely wouldn't put this movie in Stanley,
no, I wouldn't put it that high either.
because I think Dormammu is a cool character
Yeah,
that, again, I think they might have handled
they
poorly.
handled it a little poorly, in my opinion. I
Because,
would
like,
say that it's a safe Hawkeye movie.
yeah, because the villain before Dormammu, the like other wizard,
Yeah,
wasn't that exciting.
no, but also there's still
Um,
like builtness to that leading to a Doctor Strange 2,
yeah,
which that is planned for 2022. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I'm very excited for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really, Doctor Strange was like kind of a world building thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think if Dormammu was cooler and kind of more, there was more of a, I don't know, good ending to it, I
Mm-hmm.
would be more, uh, I would rank it higher. But yeah, I think average is good.
Yeah.
Next.
Dup, 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 dup. May 5th, 2017. Cinco de Mayo, if you will.
Wow. Black Panther.
No.
Dang. I hate this game. Is Gabbity bop boop bop flibbity hibbity. I don't know.
Guardians 2.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I feel like. Yep, it's. I mean, I feel like that's definitely it because I'm
I
looking
feel
at
like
the
that's it
list.
because I'm looking at the list. Wow. Okay.
But
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
I feel like that this is definitely not as good as the first one. I
No.
think. I think they tried to follow the hype of it,
Mm-hmm.
but they tried too hard.
The songs weren't as good.
No,
The songs are still good, but they're
they
not
were
like,
not
oh my
as good.
god.
The first one, it was like, this is all bops. I literally went out of my
Mm-hmm.
way to buy the soundtrack 2 times. Actually, I bought it 2 times. Um, and then the second one, it's like these are good, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to get it.
Yeah. I think the first one for me, maybe this is just me, but like all those songs were good, and I wasn't like super familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is like these are all good, but like I been knew these were good.
Yeah,
Like this isn't like wow, this is a good song. It's like well, yeah, this
this
is. I
isn't
mean, you
this
know,
isn't a secret like bop. This
yeah,
is
like this is just like
we
a
put
classic song.
we put so much money into the like music budget because of how much people like the first one that we're gonna afford and buy like very popular songs. It was
Yeah,
like
I
that kind
can't
of.
remember what the songs are from the second one, but I feel like it was just like Queen or
Yeah,
something, or you know,
yeah.
like just really popular bands that it was
Give me
like,
1 second.
yeah, yeah, these are good, but yeah. And the story was interesting.
It
I
was.
thought Mantis was cool. I thought Ego
Yeah.
was an interesting choice.
I liked. I liked the fact of um, they kind of dive a little bit deeper into like Star Lord, but also they really went. I think it was just not as good. So they have
Yeah.
Cat Stevens, David Hasselhoff, Jay and the Americans, Looking Glass, George Harrison, Fleetwood Mac, like a lot more popular, I feel like.
Pretty well known, yeah.
So they definitely tried harder in the music department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I thought it was good. But I was a little disappointed with Ego
Yeah.
in that I kind of like it's hard to Ego's a hard thing to do. I
Mhm.
think they took on a really challenging character to
Yeah.
incorporate, like a living planet. How do you make that a
What's the best
thing?
way to concept that in like live slash CGI as opposed to full
So to make him
animation?
like kind of a projection of the planet, it's like a little growth
Yeah.
was interesting.
Mhm.
Um, I just don't know how I feel about him being a big bad in a movie.
I don't see. I think that's part of the issue. Being just trotted by. Um,
I mean,
it's like I think he's not just in general super big bad material. I
no,
feel like he's definitely on the realm of more being neutral.
yeah, no. I think they could have picked another like celestial that would have
Yeah.
been slightly more
Like if they went
interesting.
like the Adam Warlock route, which they
Oh yeah,
hinted at a bunch in that movie,
That would have been so
That would have
cool.
been a lot better of like a big boss,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
they didn't. They just kept hinting at him.
yeah. So hopefully we'll see that in the future. But where would you put it then?
I would be leaning more towards Hawkeye-ish, maybe even Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in Hawkeye because I don't think it's like
Yeah,
bad.
it's not as bad as Iron Man 3.
Hmm. So I think it's just average.
Okay.
Okay,
July
okay.
7th, 2017.
Black Panther.
No.
Eventually, it's gonna be right.
You've got so many more guesses to get Black Panther right.
I thought it was in 2017. Ah, yes, Captain Marvel.
No.
No, 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 no. I know. I did. Obviously, this means
Say the wrong answer again.
this means Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes for Spider-Man.
Oh, I thought it was like I thought he was climbing up a wall
Yeah.
like a spider
It's
monkey
literally like the
or
Itsy Bitsy
Spider-Man.
Spider.
You got me there. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Homecoming.
Homecoming. Yep.
Great movie.
It was a good one. And going back to, you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Somebody meowed over there. So
Meow.
going back to the last part, this is where some where I think the villain worked out perfectly. So like we have the Vulture, who is his was it Gwen Stacy or was it yeah, it was Gwen Stacy, right?
What?
In was it Gwen Stacy or MJ in Spider-Man?
MJ.
Okay.
But not
No.
Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah,
No, it was a different girl. It
no, it
was
was
whoever the.
she was Gwen Stacy, right?
I
Cuz
thought she wasn't called
MJ
Gwen Stacy.
I thought it was
I am confusion. Apparently, it wasn't that good of a movie. I don't remember much of it. I know it was the girl that he went to prom with who
yeah.
wasn't MJ or Homecoming because that's
Yeah.
the name of the movie. Um,
It was Laura Harrier. That's as Liz.
Liz. Yeah, so it wasn't
So we're both wrong.
either. It wasn't either of them. No, because MJ is the other character
Yeah, she's
who he
Zendaya.
ends up with, but she's not Mary Jane Watson. She's just MJ
Yeah.
because they make that very clear.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he's the father of his date.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and he was a great character. They had
yeah.
callbacks to the first Avengers in the very
Mm-hmm.
beginning.
They did.
Um, they talked about kind of like real world problems that you wouldn't think of,
Mm-hmm.
with the whole like, this guy's struggling, but he's using the alien technology that's left over to make some money.
Make some
They
stuff.
introduced some classic characters like Shocker,
Mm-hmm.
although maybe disappointingly to some people, but at least he was there.
Yeah.
They even hinted at Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
They're, giving us some big hints towards a Sinister Six movie, like The Amazing Spider-Man did, but it never happened because The Amazing Spider-Man died.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
it died.
and I thought it was really cool.
I
And I
think.
also like how they hinted at it better than they did in Amazing Spider-Man 2, because they were
Yeah.
just like, there's just a big room with everybody's suit. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, okay.
I think that was. I think it was a lot better of a movie than like
In
half the
my
movies.
opinion, and a friend of ours will be very upset about this, or I don't know. Yeah, I think he will be a little bit. In my opinion, I think Tom Holland is the best overall Spider-Man of any of the Spider-Mans in character-wise. I think he's the best at rounding out both Peter Parker and Spider-Man
I think.
out of him, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield.
I can. I think that's. I would put that up for debate myself.
Sure.
I think I will say though, I think if we're looking at a high school aged,
Yes.
he's definitely the best.
Well,
But
here's how
I think as
I've always viewed it.
if it was like anything older than high school though, I would feel like Tobey Maguire's the best.
Here's how I view it. I say Tobey Maguire is the best Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield does a really good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think, but I think Tom Holland does the best of both. In that maybe he's not better being Peter Parker than Tobey Maguire, or
But
he's not better being Spider-Man than
he's
Andrew
better
Garfield,
at
but he's
being
the
the
best
whole character.
combo.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
overall, I think he kind of rocks the combination.
Okay. So
But
we're
I can agree that Tobey Maguire is solid either way.
I'm a little upset that there was no J. Jonah Jameson. I will say that will. There's no
Yeah.
demand for pictures.
But he's in the second one.
True. All right.
He's where Anyways, yeah.
Homecoming.
So that's this one. And yeah, I thought it was just a great movie overall. So I would be down to put it in either of these,
Yeah,
either of the top two.
I would say Stanley.
Yeah, I think it was a
a very
solid.
like it was good all around, and while like it's like they had the Vulture, who's like a good single movie villain.
And they did a really good job with Vulture too.
Yeah, they had like Tony Stark showing up here and there as a mentor. Aunt May was unusually young.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like, should we knock that down a peg just for that? Nah.
No, because then they had Ned, and he was great.
Ned was great. Yeah, you're right. All right.
All right.
November 3rd, 2017. What are we looking for, Calum?
I think of all the movies that it could be, I'm thinking that it's probably, I think most likely it would, of all the movies here, I think it would. Ant-Man and Wasp?
No.
Dang it. Wait.
It's looking in close. Does he think he has it? He's looking in close, observing every movie individually, trying to get it into his mind to meld.
Black Panther.
Nope.
Dang it. All right, what is it?
Thor Ragnarok.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, because that's when he cut his hair, right?
Mm-hmm. So,
All right.
where are we looking for Ragnarok?
Isn't that where he cut his hair?
Yeah, he cut his hair.
Yeah. So that's okay. Because I was looking at Thor Ragnarok, and then I was looking at Infinity War, and I was like, I remember he,
cut his hair.
He got the new hair, so
Mm-hmm.
it had to be all right. Well, all right. Thor Ragnarok, in my opinion, is one of the best Marvel movies.
It is one of the best. I can fully agree it's Stan Lee tier. So you can put it up there without any.
I'll put it up there right now.
They have.
You've got Planet Hulk storyline.
Yeah, you've
got the Ragnarok storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you've got like the classic quote of "It's a friend from work," and everyone like the fact that it's still like, "Oh, he's a friend from work." It's like we're still gonna fight anyway, though, and they just lay into each other like.
Yep, the fight that we all have wanted to see, because it's happened a couple times here and there, but that was like
they've had hints, but never the full brawl.
Mm-hmm.
I think that,
and it's the funniest Thor has ever been.
Mm-hmm.
It really was reminiscent of the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
comedy wise, so funny.
And it had a lot of hype. Well, not hype, but
a
lot of build up.
Hype.
It had some hype to the movie, but it had a lot of build up for Infinity War.
It did.
So I think
it was the comeback that Thor needed after his second movie.
Oh, after the look where that Dark World is on the list.
Exactly.
They definitely. I feel like it was like with between Iron Man 2 and 3, they're like, we had a sound theory of just skewing the characters and stuff like that. Maybe we should just try a different. Let's try it out differently. Let's
Mm-hmm.
do a little bit of a different story and see if that's the problem.
They're like, let's have some fun with this
Yeah.
character,
And then
and it.
with yeah, like with Dark World, it's like, huh, we really screwed up on this one. Let's not do that again.
Yeah.
And like look at the other like they made it funny like Guardians. They took the Avengers Hulk and Thor rivalry and took it to the
Mm-hmm.
net and like brought it back and it's like, yeah, no, they learned from their boo-boos in that one.
Yeah. Great movie. Great movie.
All right. February 16th, 2018. A day you've been waiting for, Calum.
Black Panther.
It's Black Panther.
Oh my God. Finally. God, there's so many more movies in between that than
Yeah, than you thought.
like he was introduced in Civil War,
Yeah,
and then there were like 4 or 5 movies in between.
it is. So, Captain Civil War is the first movie
Mm-hmm.
in the lineup for Phase 3. Civil War is the sixth. Or, not Civil War, Black Panther is the sixth.
Insane. Like, we're really holding out on that one,
Mm-hmm.
but worth it.
I think it was a good.
I thought Black Panther
I
was
thought
another really solid standalone movie.
it was a very, very good standalone movie. I think,
Like, go on.
yeah, I was gonna say, it covers villains well. It covers anti-heroes and allies well. It builds like it's like you heard bits and pieces of Wakanda through like Civil War, and then it's like here we have this entire movie. Let's just get it all out there of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really don't have anything negative to
No.
say about it. It's just like it was a solid movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if I had any criticisms the times that I've watched it, but like
Um,
it's just like it's kind of a classic.
it.
It doesn't really feed into like the bigger picture of stuff. It's just kind of like this is Black Panther and this is
Yeah,
what he does.
I think it was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You throw that in that Stan Lee tier.
Stanley. All right, now I'm lost.
All right, April
I've
27th,
lost my
2018.
scapegoat.
We are looking
Um.
at
Okay,
what is
I
it?
got it. So we've got with our final lineup, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Mm-hmm.
which at the end of that movie, everybody
Yep.
is poofed. You have Captain Marvel,
Yep.
which is a flashback movie after everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Avengers Endgame, which is everybody comes back after the. We've got Infinity War,
Which everybody.
and then you have Spider-Man Far From Home, which is when I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's got to be Black Panther.
They re-released Black Panther. I thought I was gonna bamboozle you.
Black Panther 2, The Panthering.
No, that's in
Infinity War.
production. It is Infinity War.
Woo. A big snap.
So, yeah, they've got the big snap. I feel like they got a lot of hate towards Star Lord in that movie. I
He
think
kind of messed up.
I would say though that it is probably Shawarma at best.
I think so as well,
I
purely
think
because it's like it's not a standalone movie.
it's not a standalone movie, and also they have so much going on. There's a lot of skipping around and jumping that it's not hard to follow, but it's a lot
No,
to follow. So I think
it kind of
that's
felt like a TV show.
yeah. So that's
Yeah,
shawarma at best.
yeah, like it was a good movie,
Mm-hmm.
but my thing is it's not a good standalone movie
Yeah.
because it really is just like everything
It's
that led up to it,
and then
and it's just kind of hinting towards the future.
it's it's the end, like it's the end of the bottleneck. It's like we're gonna take everything, we're gonna bring it all into one point for
Mm,
Endgame, and here it is, like right at the end of the bottle.
yeah.
I will
So,
say though, a distinct memory I have is when you, me, and Molly saw this movie in theaters, and everybody was disappearing, and there was that one guy behind us that was stomping his foot every single time. Like, there
hmm
goes Black Panther, and you just hear, "Urgh." There, and then he lost it when Spider-Man disappeared. I remember that distinctly because it was
hmm
hilarious for us.
good times.
All right,
So
July
now,
6th, 2018.
so now it's either Ant-Man and Wasp or Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So the after credit scene of Infinity War
COVID
was for
Scared the life out of
Captain
me. You
Marvel.
can see me jump from that.
I saw you jump.
It scared me. It said COVID.
Um, so my question is, so the after credit scene of Infinity War was Captain Marvel, but was Captain Marvel immediately after?
So, let me let me throw this out to like make it a little bit more clear to you. The
Sure.
after credit scene wasn't specifically like Captain Marvel wasn't seen. It was Nick Fury calling Captain Marvel.
Right.
So, and then he disappeared. So I feel like I'm not sure if that would help or hinder you.
I'm gonna go with Ant-Man and Wasp
It was Ant-Man and Wasp, July 6th,
because I
2018.
mean that one like canonically happened at the same time as
Yeah.
Infinity War, which is hilarious to think about. That
That
everybody was
everyone's
like,
in
all this
this.
stuff was going on. Meanwhile, Ant-Man was like, "We gotta find your mom."
Yeah, it was such a weird, like,
Like, how does he not know?
so like Ant-Man he was on house arrest
Mm-hmm.
because of the whole Civil War thing.
Learn to play the drums
And he
and
just
magic.
goofed around and was doing his thing. And you also have the Avengers here going like absolutely nuts, looking for Thanos, trying to stop the world from imploding. And he's just doing his thing, fighting Ghost and Yellow Jacket
Mm-hmm.
and becoming the size. Oh, was it Yellow Jacket? No, that was the first one.
Yellow Jacket was the first one.
Yeah, but
Or no, that
who was the
yeah,
first one? Was it Yellow? Yeah, I was gonna say if it's
no,
not Yellow
it was the
Jacket, I don't
Wasp
know.
guy.
But it was just like doing his thing, just goofing around, and then it doesn't really
It's really
infer to
funny
anything happening around him until the end credits scene.
till the very end. No, the end credit scene really was like, oh, because
That
I
was
remember the
yeah,
whole time before the movie came out, people were like, what is this gonna be about?
yeah,
You know, like they
and
weren't like around for the whole fight and the whole snap thing happened. So like,
what are they gonna do?
why just Ant-Man and Wasp? What is going on?
And
And then
then
you see the whole movie progress and you're like,
like what's going
what
on?
does this have to do with anything? And then right at the end, you're like,
Oh,
uh, yeah, it was cool. I very much enjoyed Ant-Man and Wasp.
yeah. I would say, I would say it's in Shawarma tier with
I think so
regular
too.
Ant Man. I
Yeah.
think that was a good like that's. I feel like that is the Dark Horse like standalone ish franchise in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you got like Iron Man 1, and then you have the sequels down here. You've got Thor Ragnarok, and then the first one's pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Dark World,
Yeah.
and like Ant-Man and Ant-Man and Wasp to stay very consistently across the board.
Yeah. They're just solid movies.
Mm-hmm.
So now we
March
have Captain
8th,
Marvel.
2019.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Knew it.
Which this was. I watched this recently. It holds up pretty good.
This one was a point of contention for the fan base.
Yes. Because it had a girl.
Because it had a woman, and women aren't funny. um, no, but yeah, people didn't like this movie, and people also really liked this movie.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it was very hit
I'm
or miss.
kind of middle of the road. I liked it. I don't,
I liked it myself.
because I don't know about you, but I don't hate women.
That's so weird. I don't hate women either.
Crazy. Are you saying that because I just saw Molly
Me
walk
waved to
by?
Molly. Nah. I mean, she didn't walk by, but I waved to her.
Ah, okay. I thought I saw in the reflection of your Pokemon poster.
No. She was.
Oh, that was just a
Actually,
ghost.
that might have been her.
Oh, well.
You saw
I've
my
given
goat.
away my secret now. I can see everything in the background, except not really. Um, yeah, I liked it. Uh, Parts I didn't like about it. I watched a review of somebody that didn't like it, and they made some good points in that, like, I think they tried to drive home the whole, like, strong, independent woman vibe a little too hard,
Mm-hmm.
in that, like, instead of showing us, like, Captain Marvel's struggles to become
Captain Marvel.
her like own self,
Yeah.
they just went to flashbacks of people being like, "You're a girl, so you're
Yeah.
bad at stuff,"
It kind
instead
of.
of just like doing it.
I think we had this discussion when we watched Wonder Woman, but it kind of had like a very similar. Like, you have a strong, powerful girl, and you just go, and it's like, she's a girl. And then it's like, let me help. No. You're
Hmm.
a girl. Let the men handle this. And I think it was worse in Wonder Woman.
I think it was, yeah, but it's just a little too straightforward for the whole message.
Yeah.
Like you can just like do cool things and then just be cool. You don't have to like have a whole subplot of like flashback to dad being
Mm-hmm.
like, "You're weak,"
Yeah.
you know. So I would probably put it at Hawkeye because I don't dislike the movie,
Yeah.
but I think
That's
certain
some.
points were a little like
Yeah, I would put it
kind
in.
of
I can.
me.
I can agree to that. It's because we hate women.
Don't let any women watch this.
Nobody watches this to begin.
You're right.
All right.
Moving
Next,
on. We got two more. Our
two
final
more.
two.
All right. We have
Next, we have
April
Spider-Man.
2016th, 2019, 19. It is.
Spider-Man Endgame: The Dark World.
Nailed it. No. It's
Yeah, Avengers Endgame.
Avengers
The
Endgame
most hyped movie
of all time.
like forever.
Yeah.
The biggest crossover of them all. Um,
Everybody's here, including Wolf.
Kirby will be in the next Avengers.
Ba,
Um,
ba, ba, ba.
that's one of my favorite memes is to say a character and then say will return in the next Avengers.
That is a
Um,
good one. I will
I think
say
yeah,
I
go on.
think this was a really good movie.
I think it was a very good movie. I think there were parts of it that I did not like,
I think there
but
was
I think overall it was a very good movie.
yeah. I think it was a little slow at parts for some
Yeah.
parts, but then you have your um then you have the like massive fight scene at the end, which
Mm-hmm.
is just insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold
Um,
on.
things I did not like would be Fat Thor.
Fat Thor was
I,
I
th-
was not a fan. I
I thought it was
liked
funny.
how I liked how he took his like the depression esque style, like depression style after um the like whole snap incident.
Mm-hmm.
I like that route, it went, but I feel like they stuck with it too hard. You should
I just, I
just
just, I just saw what you sent me.
watch it
So
afterwards. Oh my god.
I will watch that. So I thought Fat Thor was funny. He had some
Hmm.
really good comedic bits in it. Um, but you made him so cool,
In
and then
Ragnarok.
you just took it all away. You just ripped it all away. He
Yeah.
had a new cool hammer. He had a
Yeah.
cool look. He was like at that point by far the strongest Avenger.
And then you had him
Could have
literally playing Fortnite.
he could have easily 1v1 Thanos,
Hmm.
but he messed up one time,
Yeah.
and then suddenly you're like, now he's irrelevant, and it's like,
Hmm.
it's so frustrating.
I will say though, counterpoint for one of the the opposite end of the spectrum, you have Captain America using Mjolnir,
Yeah, they did
which
set that up
was
to be really cool. See, and they did that a bunch of times. They had a bunch of scenes that everyone was like, "Oh, this is so cool."
they
Yeah,
had.
people screaming in the
I
background.
I watched a video recently because I was of the video I sent you. I
Hmm.
watched a video of them revealing Captain America using Mjolnir in theaters, and I
People just
forgot
losing it.
how insane people reacted. And I was definitely one of the people who's like, "Oh my god!"
I mean, I
It
remember
was
watching it with you, and when he did that, people were literally screaming.
screaming.
Um, and it reminds me also because they did the same thing when they reintroduced all the
Everyone,
characters that had been snapped. So like when
you're gonna talk
you
about, I
already know
think,
what I'm gonna say,
yeah.
but yeah, when like Black Panther comes back, everyone's like, "Oh my
Oh,
God, Black Panther!" Woo! And then my part was when Falcon came out,
Falcon
and
Flies.
nobody said anything, and I was like, "And Falcon."
Everyone was. It's like it's like when you're at a concert or you're watching some sort of live event with multiple acts. It's like you get a really the route that people took with it that we're watching. It's like you get the first one in show. Everyone's losing their mind, and then you get then with Falcon returning, you get the sit down, grab a drink, go to the bathroom person,
Hmm.
so you can make it back in time for when Spider-Man re-shows up
And then
last.
Spider-Man, and everybody's like, "Ooh, Spider-Man!" But I was just like, I remember
Yeah.
just everybody going silent when like
For
Falcon
Falcon.
walks out, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
kind of mean.
And it's honestly though, entrances alone from where you're watching that, you've got uh it's it starts off with um you've got Black Panther walking through the portal in. Then you have Falcon literally swooping in at max speed, which was that was pretty cool.
Pretty
And then
cool.
you have Doctor Strange floating down in. You have the Guardians of the Galaxy that got snapped away at making an impressive entrance. You have Spider-Man web slinging in. So it's really how did Falcon not get more hype from him literally
Right?
flying in?
I don't know. I mean, to be fair, we also forgot to mention that he was introduced in Winter
Yeah,
Soldier,
Winter
but
Soldier.
whatever.
That's a
It's
sec.
fine. He gets his love.
All right, where do we rank
But
this movie?
I will say before we rank it, other
Mhm.
parts I did not like were I thought there were quite a few characters in the movie that could have beaten Thanos on their own.
Yeah,
I think the Avengers were very much nerfed
yeah.
for the final battle,
Mhm.
which I get why they did it because having so many characters that are super powerful
Yeah,
that could beat the big bad alone
that wasn't.
would kind of negate the reason to have a big team up.
Mhm.
Um, and then so like they kind of had to nerf them, but it
Yeah,
was a little frustrating for me because I wanted to see like everybody at their best,
yeah.
like the final battle, as strong as they can be, pulling out all the stops to get a victory. But it was kind
Yeah.
of like everybody kind of
Lacked.
already like beat up and like underprepared.
I think
You know?
another aspect that that movie and kind of also Avengers 1 was missing was these, like, the battle in Avengers 1 there was the Battle of New York, like in New York
Hmm.
City, like the densest Marvel capital of the world. And then you have such like an important crazy dystopia for Endgame. I
Yeah,
feel like it was missing a certain, like, it didn't have to show other characters, but it was missing hints of other characters.
yeah,
Like in, like, one of the things I would said at the time about the first Avengers movie was like, I wish that they had like just like when they're going over the wreckage, like signs that other heroes that are in the universe were there, like a
that'd
couple
be
of
cool.
Chitauri, like just webbed to the wall,
Hmm.
like some with fist punched into them, or like something like that, just to like make it
That'd
seem
be
like
dope.
there was other heroes. And then kind of same with Endgame, where it's like a lot of the Marvel characters that are like just regular heroes and not like anti-heroes, it's like they would have definitely done something.
Yeah.
So like you might not have gotten any help from Deadpool, who, my favorite thing that I like to think about for him is he's constantly disappearing, but he regenerates at such a fast rate that he looks like
Hmm.
Pigpen from Charlie Brown. But it's like you could have had like some implications that Wolverine was either helping fight the army or just regular crime stopping in this dystopian world.
Yeah.
Because even though like he could, like there's the ability of him not being there for the big fight in Wakanda, there's still the world going on afterwards.
Yeah. I think the only thing with that is like purely with the licensing
Yeah,
thing.
I know it's mostly licensing things, but it's like there could have there's it's one of those
There's
things where
other
it's
ones
like
that they
you could have
had
had Easter eggs.
the like ownership for that they could have
Yeah,
done. I agree with that.
like in
But
the
yeah.
like the collector's room in the first Guardians movie, it's like you had like the slime cocoon, which Warlock could have been in. You had like
Hmm.
the shadow of Howard the Duck. You had like the like Cosmo K9 or something like that. The space dog.
Hmm.
It's like they didn't really focus on any of them, but they were there. And that's kind of like that's where my
What
thought
you wanted to
process
see.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I would say shawarma.
I'd say shawarma too. Yeah. The biggest problem, like I said, was just like I felt like so many characters could have 1v1 Thanos, even because he didn't even have his gauntlet at the time.
No, he didn't.
It was an early Thanos,
Yeah.
and yet for some reason he had the strongest sword ever made.
Yeah.
Um, and he was beating like everybody, and I'm like Thor, Scarlet Witch,
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, all could have easily 1v1'd him,
I will say
and
though.
yet they just
Yeah, I will say throughout this entire series, Witch is heavily nerfed.
so
Like,
nerfed,
House of M storyline, she destroys everyone.
literally.
And I feel like I do get a big chuckle at the fact that the first, like, 10 minutes of the movie, they just kill the original timeline Thanos right off the bat. I thought that was
I did like
hilarious.
that. I did
I
like that.
laughed a lot. All
We'll
right.
probably get some flack for not putting that at the top, but let's do the last one.
Last one,
Spider-Man: Far From
Spider-Man
Home,
Far From Home.
post Endgame movie, the
Mm-hmm.
only post Endgame Marvel movie that has come out.
Yeah, because COVID knocked back. This is from July 2019. Black Widow
Dang.
got knocked back. I think Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings might have got knocked back. Eternals.
Probably.
And then there's Spider-Man, the threequel. Thor Love and Thunder. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. those all got delayed.
Yep.
Black Panther 2, that's having its own delays
Yep.
with
So
trying to stream, like, make, and Captain Marvel's getting a sequel.
yeah. So this list will be longer eventually, but as of right now, this is the best we got.
Yeah. We'll
Where
just
would
dig
you
up
like
this
to put?
list.
Well, yeah, we'll just screenshot this at some point and come back to it.
We'll
But
just,
where would you like to put Far From Home?
I don't know.
Uh,
I have like a weird, like, I I'm not like the biggest fan of it, to say.
my quick take on it is it's another time where they subverted your expectations with a classic character.
Yeah.
Um, and it was kind of hit or miss for people.
Yeah. It
I
was
think
it
it
was
was a
more on the
little bit
miss
miss
for
for
me.
me.
Yeah. I would say maybe Hawkeye or Fan Four Stick.
I would say probably Hawkeye. I didn't hate it.
I didn't
But
hate it
like I'm
either,
just
but it
comparing
wasn't
it to
like,
these two, and I'm
yeah.
like,
I think I would compare it to closer to uh, Age of Ultron versus Iron Man 3, where Iron Man 3 was just kind of like a dud, where
hmm
in Age of Ultron is a very big loss of potential.
I'm down to put it down there just to make it more even.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I thought, what's his face, Mysterio,
Mm-hmm. Could have been
would have been
better.
really cool because they had already established magic.
Yeah.
And I know that Mysterio's thing is he's not really magic, and that he
Mm-hmm.
is just like a magician.
Yeah.
But also, I was slightly disappointed because with the trailers, it made it seem like Hydro Man
Yeah.
was gonna be the thing.
But no.
But then it was like elementals, but they actually weren't elementals.
Yeah.
And then it was like as the movie progressed, I was kind of like, oh, it's not at all what I thought it was, and I'm a little disappointed about
Yeah.
it.
That's kind of like what I'm like Age of Ultron adjacent, like Age of
Yeah,
Ultron we were talked about in the last part. They build up all this hype. Ultron, bad, like big bad villain. Like this could be a franchise-ending villain, and it's just like,
yeah. And then Spider-Man the whole time was kind of whiny. Like I know
yeah,
he's a child, but like
grow up.
you just
He went to
you just
space.
you met some random guy and gave him access to
Everything.
Tony Stark's weapons.
Yeah, not your.
What?
I was gonna say, yeah.
Pardon? So yeah.
It's like me
Okay.
becoming a billionaire and going, "Hey, Calum, go find a guy and just give him this suitcase full of money."
Please do. I will be the guy that is given the suitcase of money. Whenever you get around to that, please let me know.
You'll give it to yourself. All right.
We've reached the end,
So we have
so it is time.
to pick the Castpod's number one, a guy.
A guy. Who
All
will
right.
it be?
Our
Here are your
contenders
choices.
are.
We're gonna say them at the same time. Go on.
Okay. Our contenders are everyone in the Stanley tier: Iron Man 1, Avengers 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Spider-Man Far From Home, or Ragnarok, and then Black Panther. So I vote we do what we've done a couple of times, because we've only done this series a couple of times. We'll say it at the same time. If we say it, both say the same thing, then it's undeniably it. And then if we both say different movies, we make one big old argument on why the one you picked is better than one the other person picked.
Mm,
Yep. One argument. And I guess rebuttal too, because
yeah.
debating.
Oh man.
Ooh.
This is tough. This is a tough
These are
choice. But I
a lot
think
of
I
good
have
options.
my answer.
I think I do too.
Alright. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Avengers
Iron
1.
Man.
Uh, I was thinking about Iron Man.
Man,
So,
go on. What is your reasoning?
my argument for Avengers 1 is like kind of on the line because I was also I considered Iron Man, but the only reason I didn't pick Iron Man was because this is a little bit of a setup movie for just the future universe of everybody teaming up, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
the first culmination of we have these six heroes and three of them got their own movie, one of them got their own movie twice, and then the two others were like pretty major side characters for the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's filled with a lot of like Loki's the bad guy and he's kind of popping up and doing his thing. He's having individual fights. You have that fight in Central Park where it's like Captain versus Thor versus Iron Man. There's so much just interlapping of all of the worlds that they already built. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why that it's better than the regular Iron Man is cuz there's so much interlapping
Mm-hmm.
that they added now.
That's a good point. All good points.
Go.
So my original answer was actually going to be Thor Ragnarok
Yeah.
because that is my personal
Favorite.
favorite. But I didn't choose it because, in my opinion, on its own, it's a good movie, but only if you know what's going on.
Mhm.
Only if you know Thor, Hulk,
Yeah.
the universe. If you don't know any of that, I feel like
You
Thor
yeah.
Ragnarok doesn't hold up, you know?
And I think the same is too kind of for Guardians as well where it's like there has to be a little bit of a background knowledge before you go into it.
Yeah. So although Thor Ragnarok is my personal favorite, I can understand that
Mhm.
it's not the best,
Yeah.
which is why I chose Iron Man, because I think Iron Man on its own is one of the best solo movies,
Mhm.
if not the best, of
Of
all the Marvel movies.
yeah.
Because on its own, you have the introduction to this character and the introduction to this entire universe. So you get an idea of like how everything works for the most part before they start introducing, magic and space and whatever.
Mhm.
Um, it's comedic. It has a lot of action. The
Mhm.
characters are memorable, and I just think that like it's you couldn't introduce the series any better
Yeah.
than with this movie. So yeah.
Yeah. And hmm. Oh, I will say though against Iron Man 1 is kind of a
Mm-hmm.
point where I emphasized it's like yes, it's an amazing standalone movie, but for the entire cinematic universe, it might be it might be the best standalone movie if it was just these are a handful of movies to
Right.
watch, but because it's a universe that's got all the different aspects, that's why I went with Avengers
The entire series is built upon the fact that it is a connected
universe.
universe,
Yeah.
and the whole payoff is these crossovers.
Yeah.
So that is why I will concede and agree that Avengers, the first one, is the best of all the Marvel movies.
I'm just happy cuz I was like for the for the Ben 10 video, we both agreed
Mm-hmm.
unanimously it was cannibals. For the My Hero Academia video, I conceded because I think you picked Kirishima and I picked
Yeah.
Tokiyami, and that
I'm
you
glad
had
we
a better
agreed on Ben
argument.
10 that Wild Mutt was the best also. I just wanted to throw that back in.
Yeah, we could we can revisit that list with
Cannonbolt.
impartial judge.
But yes, as you're saying.
Yeah, but I think it's like it was like I just wanted to like hopefully he'll concede because I was considering like
Mm-hmm.
this. I was literally looking at the list and going, it's Iron Man 1, and then I'm like, but it doesn't have everyone. That's the only thought I had.
No. No, when you
And
said that about all the characters coming in and having all these memorable crossover moments, I was like, no, you're right. Like
yeah,
that's the whole point of this whole thing is Avengers
yeah,
and all these like characters coming together. So it's like
mm,
this is the first time and probably one of the best times that they've brought them all together
yeah.
into one movie and made it work. So,
And I like just to say my thought process. I ruled out um, Spider-Man and Black Panther pretty much right away
mm-hmm.
because they were introduced in Civil War, and it was part where like the universe is already heavily established.
Yeah.
Whereas like Avengers, sure, everyone was previously introduced, but they weren't introduced to each other. So
No,
they,
this was the first like interaction
yeah.
between these people.
So to go over the list before we leave this into the Castpod records, we have Castpod's number one, a guy, the Avengers original movie. Down in Stan Lee class, we have Iron Man 1, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man Homecoming, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Thor Ragnarok, and finishing it up is Black Panther. In our Shawarma, I realized
That's
the
probably
longer we
spelled
record,
wrong.
I kept saying it wrong, and it is probably spelled wrong. So this is like
Somebody's gonna call us out on
yeah,
it and then be like, that was spelled wrong for the entirety of both of these videos.
we
We'll be
don't
like, yep.
care. If you look at our cast pods, there's literally a segment called Dingus Dictionary. So for that, the better than average tier, we have Thor 1, Captain America 1, Ant-Man, Avengers
Infinity War.
Infinity War, Ant-Man and Wasp, and Avengers Endgame. In
Mm-hmm.
our Hawkeye, our average Joe Schmo tier, we have Captain America Winter Soldier,
Mm-hmm.
Civil War, Doctor
Mm-hmm.
Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Guardians too?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
And then Captain Marvel. In our Fantastic tier, which is
Mm.
not quite trash, but we're disappointed. Iron Man 3, Avengers Age of Ultron, and Spider-Man Far From Home. I can't wait for us to get crap about that one.
We're gonna get so much crap
We're going to
about
get
it.
so much crap about that one and Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And under our DC Comics, we have The Hulk, Iron
Mm-hmm.
Man 2,
Mm-hmm.
and Thor: The Dark World, and we're not gonna get any crap about those ones.
No, I feel like I think maybe there's some secret Iron Man 2 lovers out there, but I think
No one else is gonna argue.
Hulk and Thor, nobody's
Nobody's gonna
nobody's
argue.
coming after us for that one.
All right, Calum, take us home.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. If we've disappointed you, welcome to the family. Um, we very much enjoyed doing this, and we'll be happy to do it again when we have some more Marvel movies in the works. But until then, check out our other shows. We've got more tier lists coming at you. We've got a podcast with
Yep.
several different versions going on every Tuesdays and Fridays. We've got all kinds of socials that you can follow us on. And yeah, come check out more of our stuff.
Yeah, and we'll be having some. Maybe because of the series, we will play. I'll get Calum to come over. We'll fly him out, and we'll play Avengers Ultimate Alliance, both 1 and 2, and maybe 3.
Give us some suggestions of things to do, things to make tier lists out of, and otherwise.
Yeah. And
Until
if you
then,
want to see us play games, tell us. Leave a comment, like and subscribe. Bye, shirtless Calum.
and then I get